In this segment we are going to explain the Bpel composition as well as give a brief demo on how the Bpel composition is involved in this immigration application. Shown here are the different web services, both web services, the encrypted Bpel web service, the Bpel composition, the client web services, the encrypted identity provider web services, immigration, medical and police web service. Shown here is the workflow diagram of the Bpel composition and the business logic associated with how the different components are linked, and is described by these boxes and lines. The user's request is received by the Bpel engine. In this first set of activities here, the user's request is then authenticated to the encrypted identity web service. This next two sequence of activities deals with the authorization of the web services, while on this end this deals with the birth and attribute names. The police and medical reports are gathered from the date of birth and attribute name. And once these reports are gathered, they are then sent back to the user. On this end is the immigration user choice, and both the police and medical reports are executed simultaneously. This report is then, both of these reports are then fed into the immigration web service. Immigration web service then just checks, and then based on its outcome it's then sent back to the user. Each line of segment that you see here represents an inbound and outbound transaction that happens between the Bpel engine and the partner web services. On your right are all the different partner web services. As we had described earlier, there's an immigration, medical, police, birth, encrypted identity web service, as well as the encrypted Bpel. Also, each of these inbound and outbound transactions are encrypted, and on the receiving end it's also decrypted. Likewise, on the client end, all the requests that are sent to the Bpel engine are all encrypted, and all the responses that are also sent to the client are also encrypted. On the client end, the response that is received by the client is decrypted. So XML encryption is actually used throughout this Bpel composition. XML signature is used for message authentication, and that's basically used between the encrypted identity web service and the Bpel engine. So Very briefly, that's just an overview of what happens in this Bpel composition and how it is involved in this immigration application. What we'll now go through is just a brief demo on how the user will send their request and what's the inputs and outputs of this immigration Bpel application. Okay, the user is given this diagonal box where he has to put his username and password. Tick the security box. This allows for both XML encryption and XML signature. Once the user has been authenticated successfully, a response will be given. Check you have logged on successfully. And these are the 4 options that are given to the user to choose from. Basically 2 reports and 2 applications. We'll choose the Viz application. This application will then take in and receive the police and medical reports. They said it back.